So for week 8, day 2. True worship is the eternal purpose of every believer. True worship. Remember, we're talking about what worship is according to Jesus. True worship is the eternal purpose of every believer. Revelation 5:13b says, "To him who sits on the throne and to the Lamb be praise and honor and glory and power forever and ever." Our activity question today: what single change can you make in your life that will make the most difference in strengthening and deepening your worship of God? What single change can you make in your life that will make the most difference in strengthening and deepening your worship of God? Take out your journal, put down your answer. Are you doing it? Alright, good. Worship is the only ministry activity of our lives on earth that will continue forever in heaven. The need for every other ministry will end in eternity because we will all be made totally complete in Him. We will lack for nothing. Yet, because we will be complete, we will be released from everything that presently holds us back from perfect worship of God. Perfection will propel us, into perfect worship as our eternal calling and ministry. That is why we need to prioritize our ministry as worshippers of God during our days on earth. Everything we learn and master about worship will carry on forever within us. Conversely, every word and action of our lives on earth that is unrelated to worship will end at the judgment and never be repeated again in eternity. Only worship bridges earth and heaven, time and eternity, creation and creator. Only worship is eternal. So we need to begin to pay more attention to our worship of God. The time has come for true worship to begin and never end, forever. Wherever we are now is the time to worship. Whatever we do, it is to be worshipped. That means that when we enter into and maintain the worship attitude, everything we are, everything we think, everything we say and do become an expression of worship as we offer it to God in constant response to His unending grace. God created, called, and saved us to worship Him forever. So every now moment of our lives is the time to worship Him in ceaseless, flowing progression that will continue forever. More than anything else, God created you to worship Him forever. Worship is the attitude that must permeate every expression of our love for God forever in order to please Him. Worship is the attitude that must permeate every expression of our love for all people and all of God's creation too. To worship God is to love Him with all our hearts, soul, mind, and strength. That is why mere outer times, places, and forms of worship under the Old Covenant have been replaced forever with the Holy Spirit inspired spiritual ministry of a royal kingdom of priests that causes us to worship God all the time, forever. Now is always the time to worship God in ceaseless response to His revelation and saving grace. I know I've read through that, and that's a lot of stuff. But the long and short of it is that worship is the only thing we will be doing in eternity that we are doing now. And therefore we need to pay more attention, close attention, to understanding how we are to worship our God. Our prayer thought today says, is there any activity of your daily life that you have a difficult time seeing as an expression of worship? Pray that the Lord enables you to begin to worship Him even in that activity. So you need to think through. There's some things you can't see as worship. I pray that God will enable you to see that you are required to worship Him even in that. That will help us to get that worship is more than just singing songs, you know. And our memory verse today is 1 Peter 2:9. It says, but you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession, that you may declare the praises of Him who called you out of darkness into His wonderful light. Amen.